At the beginning of COVID, I'm sitting here going like, come on, people, there's so much information. People are giving away courses for free. How come you're not elevating yourself, right? And then I have a conversation with a friend of mine who's a teacher, and she's sharing that there are kids who can't go on Zoom and have the Zoom interaction classes because the mom is a single mom and there's no electricity in the house, or nobody speaks English in the house, or there are 14 people right now in the house, like all kinds of stuff that I'm like, you know what? I take back everything I said about people being lazy and not actually elevating themselves, because in those situations, I have no solution. So if someone is in that kind of mindset of like, there's no job, there's no electricity, I don't speak English, I don't even know how to press the button, right? All I know is like scrolling on my phone. What's the first step that it can take in order to do something different? There's more in me, and this is a good time to become more.
What I would say to that, and I'm going to be very clear what I would say, because this could come across harsh. You're taking it from someone who's had to pawn his car earlier in his life because he was so broke in order to get that car fixed so he could get to a $6 an hour factory job at one time in my life. Mm-hmm. And so I've been there. I've been at the bottom of the rung when it comes to money. And so you said it best. So here's the truth. 99%, if not 99.5% of all people in the United States have a cell phone.
Yeah.
But the truth is, depending on how low you are and how much you're struggling, you've got to go find the nearest mirror and look into it. You got to say, do I have a burning desire, a want and a need to have something, be something, and do something different? And nothing easy comes overnight. It all takes a lot of hard work. But there's all sorts of free resources. And I guarantee you 99% of those people you're talking about also have TV.
Yeah.
And so it's just true.
And an Xbox, right? And an Xbox and a PlayStation and
So wealthy people and poor people have the same 24 hours in a day. The struggle is real. The insecurity is real. The fear is real. The pain is real. And the circumstances are very real. And I'm not diminishing any of that. You can't blame society. You can't blame the pandemic. At a certain point, we've got to man and woman up and look in the mirror and hold ourselves accountable to our situations. And what have we done differently in our lives? And you've got to start with baby steps. I mean, you look at the mountain you have to climb. I've been at the bottom of the bottom, and the mountain looks very steep. And then you start comparing and contrasting, and it's easy to fall into victimhood or martyrhood or even blame. And that's a very dangerous place to be. But if you truly want burning desire for change, there's so many things. If you have a phone, you have access to a TV. And if you have a phone, you can do a hotspot. But you can always invest in yourself, whether it's listening, learning, watching. If you don't have financial confidence or you don't understand money or tools, now's the time. There's so many free resources out there. If you're feeling fearful or angry or resentment, or you feel like you're not in control of your thoughts, and all of us struggle from that. All of us have those demons, insecurities, that voice in our head that says we're not good enough. We all have it.
Yeah.
It's just what we do to mitigate that voice. All of us have a problem with unconditional love, respect, and self-confidence for ourselves. There's all of these tools, resources out there, but there is no white horse. There's no magic pill. No one's coming to save you. And if you wait on the government to save us, all of us, and I'm talking to me too, you're crazy. They're up for themselves. They're not going to save anybody. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, it comes down to burning desire. It comes down to self-accountability, and it comes down to daily baby steps. Don't change 25 things, because change is hard. And I'm telling you, change is scary for everybody. And right now we feel a lack of control, right? So that makes change even harder. But take a small baby step every single day to be a little bit better than you were yesterday, whether it's your mindset, your money, your self-respect, your self-confidence, your network, managing your time, because again, no one has 24 hours more than anyone else. But we've got to do something different. We've got to make some effort every single day just to be a little bit better, and it can start with 10 minutes or less. But if you do that over time, it has a compounding effect. In 365 days from now, and it's not if this thing's going to pass, it's when, this too shall pass, is that you will be better than you were yesterday, but you have to participate in your own rescue and invest in yourself.
I love it. It's true. It's very true. And I've been blamed to being harsh as well for saying exactly the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about, like, specifically, you were in the bottom of the hill. While you're there, it's kind of like you're telling yourself the stories, and there's these thoughts that are going on in your head. And then at one moment, I'm assuming you probably go like, okay, enough. Right? And then you change something. So tell me about that transition. How did you move from like, this is where I am right now, there's nothing good is going to come out of it, into slowly actually participating in your own rescue?
Yeah, I think I was extremely hungry. For me, initially, it was about survival. It was about putting food on my plate, keeping the electricity on, keeping my job, and making enough money. And so what I did is I just had to work hard. And so I went to work for this nuclear waste container factory.
Wow.
Because when you're in survival mode, when you're worried about food and light and shelter and safety, that's all you're concentrating on. I wish I would have, but I didn't do the deep work on my mental and emotional fortress until later in life. But during that time, I decided to go to work and work in a very hard job. And I took out a bunch of debt, putting myself through community college at night. So I would literally get up at 4 in the morning and drive my 1991 Topaz 40 minutes away to this factory, work there for 9 hours a day, shower, go to community college at night, get home really late, rinse and repeat, and do the same thing over and over.
Wow.
And there was times I didn't know how I was going to make it. But for me, it was about getting myself out of that situation. For me, that looked like community college because that's all I knew, and that's what I was doing at night. And during the day, I was working. So first of all, you have to tend to your needs. You have to tend to your family. If that's 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, whatever you got to do to be survival. But then there's always time in the day, whether it's a lunch break, a 15-minute break, to do just a little bit of work to be a little bit better. And there's so many great examples of people who worked on their mental fortress, their emotional fortress, their financial fortress, their physical fortress, and helped develop schools, whether they read or they just watched YouTubes. There's all sorts of things that you can do to get yourself out of your situation. But the first thing you got to do is take care of yourself. And anytime you start depending on the society or anyone else, it can get very difficult. And so to me, it starts with getting your basic survival needs done and then moving forward from there.